All right, so today we're working on this old Triumph T140. It's the oil and frame model that has the great big frame down tube right here. Well, one of the problems with these, if you have the single carburetor, which this does, it's the Tiger model. I have here the JRC carburetor, which is very nice. It's a very compact version of a Cajun, I believe. But here's the problem. When you've got a single carburetor, this thing is right here, and it's pointing right at the frame down tube. And there is not really room for a filter. Now here's the filter that everybody likes. Nice vintage looking filter. It's a plate. This is the deep offset, which is, you absolutely have to have that. There's a new filter element for it. And then here's the cover, okay? Those go together, and then this band goes around them and gets clamped. And that's what squeezes it, kind of, together and kind of seals it. The problem is that this hits the frame down tube and doesn't really fit. And so what we're doing here is we're taking this. First mod I did is, since you can barely see it, you see that little aluminum ring? Okay, that goes in there so that when you put the carburetor on there, you know, it won't go quite all the way in there anyway. And so that ring, it's hard to see. That ring seals up the little gaps and makes it a little more airtight. And then we're gonna leave that chrome band off, and we're gonna do just this to get another 1/4 inch of clearance right up here. Okay, so here's what we're doing with the air cleaner to help this. Do a little adjustment here. Okay, this is that air cleaner with the offset. You see we have ditched the chrome band, and we made a little aluminum plate, 4 1/4 inches square, with 4 number 10 screws. And on the other side, we've just got some clamp bars. All right. So now this carburetor, and I'll show you another thing. You see right there, that tower on the power valve, filed just a little bit off of that and got about another 1/8 inch of engagement on the air filter, because that's what keeps you from going on there. Okay, so that fits, that's touching, right? It's touching there, it's touching there. That's as far on the carburetor as it can go. So this system here is gonna clamp the filter tight. We've gotten rid of that added bit of metal up here, so we've got a little bit of clearance. We might wind up filing a little notch in the corner of this plate here, this cover plate. But this is the shortest possible air filter that I have been able to come up with. Now, one of the problems is you can't install this with the carburetor mounted. And that's a real pain in the butt, because this carburetor has to have a stud right here and a nut. You can't use a bolt because it won't go in the flange. And this flange is part of the JRC carburetor system. It's not a Cajun part. And so what I'm gonna do there is slot this hole so that I can slide it onto the stud and then put a bolt in the other side. And so that this assembly, the carburetor and air filter, is all gonna go on together. Okay, here's another minor difficulty. You see that hose clamp? That's pretty hard to get to. You can just barely get a screwdriver in there at an angle. And a box end wrench is gonna be how we're gonna tighten it, but I gotta take this bar off. So here, everything assembled. I've got the hose clamp tight. I got these tight, clamping this good. I've got this slotted out. So now I'm gonna go glue the O-ring that goes here, and we're gonna put it on the bike. All right, here's how close this is to fitting. See that plate? That is hitting the frame rail just before that corner does. So I'm gonna go put a notch in this top edge. All right, here we have notched the aluminum plate out and notched the metal cover plate off, not enough to make it leak, but enough to expose this edge right here, which is rubber and might give a little more. So I think we bought ourselves another 1/8 of an inch. So here we go on the bike. I got a little short bolt on this side. I got a stud and a nut on that side. I siliconed the O-ring more for lubrication than anything. And look right here. You can just see we're touching. And I'm gonna tighten these up, and I hope I didn't dislodge the O-ring. But we're gonna try. Got everything tightened up. Disregard this. This is some previous owner weirdness that I haven't fixed yet. But we're on. We're touching the rubber. You can see where there is no extra room here at all. Now, I got just into the nylock on the nuts, so they should be a little longer. The bolts should be a little longer overall. I think it looks okay, and certainly better than one that leaks, which the stock one, well, everything